pick up the first part of the reading, you're going to have to follow or subscribe, and you're going to have to go into the last 20 minutes that we are actually doing. Hopefully it did actually post. I don't know how far it went. So I'm just going to do a quick brief over the cards that we've already pulled. Okay? Because motherfuckers be trying to stop my feed. Okay? So what I talked about in the first one, which you're going to want to go back and touch base with, because I'm going to start to do cards in this one, is expecting. It's about coming to the space, not of expectation, but of knowing in your soul, right? And we talked about all the different chakra points and how they all have different commands that we can command. And when we're knowing, this is the crown chakra. So we've already passed heart, we've already passed throat, we've already passed vision, and now we're in the state of knowing, okay? The state of gnosis. To have faith, to have this faith in something, to actually believe in something, which is yourself, to believe that you are divine, to believe that you deserve, right, what is your natural rightful birthright. This is a big part of it, right? Faith, okay? Faith, see the light in the world. Now, be the change that you would like to see in the world. So if you complain about everything all the time, then there's going to be a lot more things that the universe is going to give you a lot more things to justify that complaint which you're making. Okay, so if you're like, I'm so dumb, then every time someone asks you a question, you're gonna be like, duh. I'm so fat, then every time someone's gonna be like, damn, you look fat in that, you know, like you're just giving the universe more authority to give you more of what you're asking for, what you're telling it. And this is your belief system. And what we were just talking about is most of our belief system comes from people, from other people that don't even know who we are, that aren't even us anymore, right? This is coming from when we're small, when we're children, from maybe our parents or grandparents, and this goes all the way down to things that we do and don't like, things that we do and don't have taste for. Even the level of liking different countries, liking different places, liking different things, maybe even different races, okay? Many people can become racist not because they're racist, because their parents were. Be subject to your trauma. Now, many people here, especially if you're a light warrior, star seed, an indigo, or anything like this, right? If you're a high level spiritual being that came here to do some really intense things, then what you're going to notice is something a little bit different, which is you may have been subject to a lot more narcissism. You may have been subject to a lot more trauma. Of divine creation, that the same thing that created the planet and all the nature and all the beautiful things intelligently created you, then you can have this supreme protection. But this is a knowing, this is a faith. Now, it doesn't have to be blind because you feel it. And that's what I was telling you guys about, is being able to tap into your level of intuition to actually be able to feel and to know that that feeling is yours. It's not a feeling that's being overridden. Now, if you're consistently drinking or partying or getting high or fucking random people, you're not really going to know because you're carrying so much trace energy, and because you're intoxicated, you're allowing other energies or entities to hop the driver's seat. It's a real thing. It's a really real thing. We're in a very serious spiritual warfare right now. So if you're a high level being, then you will be being clean. This means in thought, in food, in intake, visual, media, people, energies, places, frequencies, all of it. Most of the light workers right now are evading most things, okay? Most everybody that I know, most of my clients, most of my people, most of my groups are all kind of solo, like figuring out, or like in some fucking cabin or by some lake or doing whatever they're doing, right? They're not participating in all of this because it's too much. Because we're highly sensitive souls. because not because we're damaged goods, because we came here to feel more, because we're actually attuned to higher level densities. Right now, we're in between third and fifth density, right? 3D, okay? But people that are ADHD, people that are autistic, different things like this that are a little bit on the neurodivergent level, okay? Or sees a different way to do something, or sees that this doesn't make sense to do it this way, actually. Nothing about this makes sense, and this is what I'm choosing to do, and this is what I'm gonna do. One of my really good friends, rest in peace, my pirate friend Norm, okay, shout out to Norm and Frankie. You know, he would always go kind of on and on about this, right? And it was like understanding, a level of being comfortable with yourself, right? And he just loved how authentic I DVD, and he was like, you need to watch this, right? And this DVD was called The Divergence. And it's about this system that's set up, right? And it's like people get chosen, and this is what you have to do for the rest of your life. And either you get chosen or you go back to being a slave or a servant. And this is kind of like what's going on. This is what the spiritual warfare is kind of about right now, just to be completely honest with you guys. This is where we're at. And so the divergent was considered like an anarchist to the system. Why? Because the system is made for people, for square pegs to go in square holes and round pegs to go in round holes. They're just like, you can't put that round peg in the square hole. And it's like, but it's smaller than the circumference. Like, what do you mean? This is the quickest way to the finish line. And they're just like, but you can't do that. That's not the way. And it's like, who the fuck are you, the Mandalorian? And they're like, this is not the way. Like, this is the way. The way that feels the most authentic, right? And so to be neurodivergent, neuro is a neurological, so it's a brain thing. So it's like your people's brains are literally being like, this doesn't make sense, and I'm not entertaining this. Because ADHD gets so quickly distracted because it's like, you don't want to be, we're not meant to be on this instant gratification level. It's not how we're supposed to be. So to become the divergent is to know that regardless of all of the circumstances, everything that the system has told you, like, well, that's only good things don't happen like that to normal people, or that's a fucking fairy tale, or you can't have a happy ending. You have to suffer and be a slave and work until you're dead and be miserable. Like, no, actually, that's a horror movie. That is a horror movie. I prefer to live in the fantasy world, if that's what you want to call it. If you want to call me more divergent, you don't know it, feel it, love it, speak it, see it. It's like Let me try to move you down closer. Come on down. Come on down, everybody. Come on down. Okay. Let's see if that works, because this bitch next door is just trying to fuck up the feed because she's not a lover. She's Can you imagine telling your children you're working on Easter when you're really getting fucked by somebody else and they're crying because they're missing you and you're pretending that you're working when you're just sitting here like a fat lazy bitch every day? So anyways, I just wanted to make sure because every time I mention this bitch, my feed gets cut off. So whoever hired her to be here, she's cheating on her family, cheating on her husband, cheating on her kids. That's not cool. That's not truth. That's not honesty. And you can sit out here and try to put the blessings and wear the fucking clothes and do all of that shit. But if you're a bad person, it's like you can't be like, I love Jesus, but then be a pedophile. You can't be like, I'm a good divine person, but I'm lying to my husband and family in some little place far away, fucking some dude when I say I'm here to work, but really I am here to get worked. Right? And that's what's happening. So this is the macro and the micro, you guys. This is the reality, is your inner strength, your ability to be honest with other people is an innate character point. And you can't go around and be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to say I'm good and I'm going to say I love you and I'm going to say I'm married. I'm going to say I have a husband. I'm going to say I have a kid and all this bullshit. But really, you're running off and fucking some other dude. You don't love your family. You don't love your children. You don't love your husband. You don't love that. You love to be a liar and a manipulator and a whore. That's what you love. You have nothing else to do all day than to bother somebody else's calls with their clients and their live feeds and all this other shit. You have nothing else to do. Karma, bitch. Karma. Karma was a witch. And she's going to come back down on you. And I hope she take your kids away, bitch. I hope you go away and I hope your kids get taken away from you too. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I already saw your husband took your bike. But I already got your license plate. I already got you recorded being fucked. So play with me some more. Fuck up my feed some more. Because you will lose everything in Indonesia. You can't do that. Infidelity? Ooh. Also, you know what interestingly enough, is I'm learning my inner strength here because this other asshole stole my clothes and all my stuff, my personal stuff, right? As I start to study more, you know what I've been getting good at, because I know US law and Coast Guard law and federal maritime admiralty law, but now I'm really getting super good on Indonesian law. And in Indonesia, infidelity is fucking huge, right? You're not even technically supposed to be staying with a partner if you're not married with them. So she thinks because they're in two different rooms, it doesn't count. Well, it does if you sleep in the same room every night and you get fucked every night. Same thing. Doesn't matter if you have two different rooms. You're still fucking. So anyways, also in Indonesia, what I thought was interesting, because I had the US lawyer and then the Indonesian lawyer and then the other lawyer. And so the US lawyer told me I have to make a list of all the stuff that went missing, right? Because, and a dollar amount. So there's an amount. That way this amount can be returned or sued for, right? And the damages and this and that, and it can just. So now this kid is bitching about fucking 60 or $100, is about to go to prison, is about to go to jail in Indonesia for 5 to 15 years. Because guess what? Stealing something in Indonesia, okay, whether he stole it or not, he's holding it hostage. So there's actually fucking 7 things he can be tried for now, because he's holding it as a hostage situation. He's holding stuff that was asked that to be returned. He's holding passports. So now he's in the line with all these other crazy people that stole the identity and all this other stuff. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because here's what happens. Somebody trying to manipulate or control, some narcissist, okay, that has nothing better to do than to try to ruin somebody else's life, is now going to lose his very freedom, because in Indonesia, this is punishable by death. Stealing is punishable by fucking death. By death. And this bitch next door stole my fucking sacred scarf also. We got that on video. We got the CCTV. How about that? Keep fucking with me, bitch. Anyways, firing squad much? Ding ding. So your inner strength, and this is part of what I had to come, is like, okay, so part of you has to be like, you know what, I don't want to deal with this anymore because I'm entertaining lower frequency. And then other parts of you is like, actually, you have to stand up for yourself. This is where the inner strength, the Bridget, comes in, right? Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. So each person possesses the power. Each person possesses the ability to believe in themselves. Each person has the ability to take back their own belongings, their sovereignty, their right, their freedom. So by this person trying to covertly, trying to cause a, it's called abusive, like reactionary abuse. So they're trying to create a situation that makes you react to their abusive behavior. And so because I didn't play into that, now where he brought my belongings down to one place, then now we have all the receipts, all of the messages, all of the things. So now he's actually threatened my stuff to harm my stuff or me, that karma and that all these bad things happen to me. So now it's considered attack. It's considered terrorist. As I said, I don't entertain terrorism. It's considered terrorist acts. It's considered threat. It's considered hostile, right? And on top of that, he's holding my stuff hostage knowingly by choice. So now later today, when we're done here, I'm going to send a message to my other friend and I'm going to say, listen, either you guys can organize how I'm going to get my stuff back in the next 48 hours, or the police can go and seize the things and they will arrest him on point. And if my stuff isn't there, like he's given it to somebody else or thrown it out or whatever else, I already have pictures of all my belongings and him saying that he's holding it hostage. So then, regardless, he's going to have to pay like $3,500, $3,700, I think is what I'm up to. And I'm not even done creating the list yet. Plus all the time that I've had to go without my personal hygienes, my feminine products, my underwears, my bras, my clothing, feminine hygiene, like all of these things. So how do we get back to this wholeness? We get back by saying, we got to take the power back, right? And so as we stand in our own sovereignty, this is actually self-love, not being like, well, I'm going to be the bigger person and I'm just going to say whatever, and I'm going to do what you tell me. No, no. And this is where the divine union is actually coming into play, because what we have systematically done is convinced ourselves that we are required to answer people's questions, that we are required to empathize or to not hurt that person's fucking feelings over our own thing. And they feed off of it. They feed off of it. And so what we get to do in order to come into this loving union is, first, it starts with self. Be the change that you wish to see. So if you don't love yourself enough to stand up for yourself, to stand up for your own possessions, your own belongings, for your own wrongdoings, then you can't expect someone else to come in and do it. You can be like, oh, I'm going to have a hero prince come in and just knock this dude out and save my things. Like, okay, in a nice world, that would be amazing. I would be like, can we get married? Thank you. You just bossed that up. You went and collected my stuff for me without me needing to ask. You went and put this dude in his place and you fucking beat his ass in the same time and you taught him a lesson. Oh my God. Wow. Swoon. Right? But let's say this is a little bit too fantasy, right? That's a little bit too fantasy. It's keeping this idealized version of love, this Disney idealized version of love or being rescued, when like nobody's going to save us, right? We're going to save ourselves. So It's like that song, what's it called? Jewel, right? Who will save your soul if you won't save your own? Right? Do you guys remember that song from the 90s? Um, and that's what it was. Who will save your soul if you don't save your own? So, if you want to have this beautiful divine union, this beautiful soul recognition, this beautiful frequency omittance, then you have to, like, you kind of have to get that unfuckwithable energy. And sometimes the empath becomes the dark empath, becomes the, this more, um, it's like Carl Jung talks about this in part of his understandings, right? And in his teachings, and that's what he talks about, is he's like, when the empath finally, like when somebody has pushed, like the straw that broke the camel's back, when they finally get pushed. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Yeah. When they finally get pushed so far that it breaks the camel's back, that it's the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay, you can hear me, just making sure, because I'm seeing all these things. What happens is the empath finally fucking snaps, and they're like, you know what? I'm nice. I'm nice most of the time. Like, I'm nice like 99.999% of the time. I'm empathetic. I'm compassionate. I'm loving. I'm just like, okay, we'll let this roll. We'll see where this goes, right? In that energy. And what happens is when the straw breaks the camel's back, the empath finally fucking snaps. And the empath becomes this unfuckwithable force, to where it's like, now, because you've actually stepped in to your true, not people pleasing, not I don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings. Oh, well, it's less for me to lose than it is for them to lose, or whatever bullshit, right? Whatever bullshit we've convinced ourselves with is the reason why we leave things. Now, sometimes it is good to walk away. Sometimes we do need to walk away from people, places, things, situations, or scenarios, right? But not always. Sometimes it doesn't pay to be the bigger person, right? Sometimes, like in this situation, I have to pay to be the bigger person. I've had to pay for me to buy new. I mean, I'll just go there. You guys are on my fucking feed. So for me to buy new menstrual cup, that's 45 fucking dollars. A motherfucker crying about $65 or 100. Like, that's one thing. That's one thing. That's not my hair care. That's not my skin care. That's not my tooth care. That's not my underwear. That's not anything else. That just one fucking thing. One thing is nearly the full cost of what. So to be the bigger person, it's like, you know what, either I don't really need this, or I'm not going to fight because it's not worth the energy. So I sat on it, right? It's been 30 days now. It's been 30 days since I said, let me organize how to get my stuff sent or whatever. I sat in peace. I sat with love within myself. And because I sat with love within myself, now, this morning and yesterday, the guides, right? This inner strength started coming out. It started burning like in my soul. And it was like, no, it's like this. You've already offered to make adult solutions and to do whatever, and that you're not entertaining or negotiating with terrorism, with terrorists, or with terrorism, right? It's just no, because the macro and the micro, right? We're not doing it. We're not doing it. Okay. And when we make that stand, when we inner stand, when we express this inner strength, then it's like the universe, the whole you in your own universe starts to change everything. And now it starts to say, nobody can fuck with me. Nobody's going to take this from me. I'm extra protected. I don't allow this shit. This shit doesn't fly anymore. That was last year. Last year was the last time that people could run that fucking game on me. Game over, right? And that is the ultimate self-love. That is being the ultimate change, where it's like, it doesn't matter how much you want that thing, or you want to like stick it to them, or like you believe that someone should get knocked the fuck out. Like, it doesn't matter. All of that doesn't matter. What matters is that You are telling yourself, you're telling your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and divine, right? I am, I feel, I create, I love myself. I create my circumstances. Feel upset about this and I'm not. I'm going to give love, but I'm going to give love to myself and I'm going to speak out. I speak my truth and I see that this is bullshit and I know actually better. And if you don't want to act like an adult and you don't want to just have a normal communication, and you give my stuff to some other fucking man because you're too much of a child, why am I having to contact another man to now try to collect my things that are being held hostage? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? So now this is the burning that came from within me. This is the alignment. This is the inner alignment of truth, of love, which is actually in the past, maybe I haven't wanted to deal with because I come from America and stuff like this, right? I don't want to deal with law. I don't want to deal with all of that. But now because I have such a fucking huge case and so many lawyers and so like 25 to like 50 fucking people that have been gang stalking and attacking and doing all of this, instead of being in a state of fear or belittlement, I am now in this inner strength, in this Bridget, in this empowerment. And it's not bitter and it's not petty. It seems a little petty. It sounds a little petty. Some of it is maybe a little bit petty, let's be real. I mean, from a different perspective. Like, this motherfucker is being petty, so let's show him how we roll, like petty Ruxpin, because I understand the law. And now I can be more empowered by understanding the law. Like, do I want to fuck you over? No, I don't. Do I want you to go to prison in Indonesia? No, not really. But if it's worth it to you to make my life miserable for you to be a manipulated abuser and try to make me the abusee, that shit ain't gonna fly anymore in my book. And I'm gonna fucking return to sender. I'm gonna throw that mirror right the fuck up and Medusa your shit. And you're gonna be standing there like stone, like, oh uh, uh, uh. I didn't expect that. It's like, well, what did you expect, everybody? What did you expect from systematically being misogynistic to women? What did you expect? So, for any of the masculine that are out there, if you're trying to have this divine union, you can't be fucking misogynistic. Number one, you can't be misogynistic. You have to understand there is an equality. Does equality mean that we both have tits and a dick? No, we're not the same equal. It means we're in a polarity sense, right? Just like yin and yang. So both are required to create the balance. And we know that it takes both, takes two, baby, to create this ultimate love, this ultimate balance. And when we have actually secured that within our own being, and this is my own being, because my own being in feminine way is I'm going to be, I'm not going to let anybody ruin my peace. I'm going to stay in this receptive mode and blah, 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 blah. And now when I woke up this morning, the inner masculine, all this Aries energy coming into play is like, take that motherfucker down, like pull all the pegs out and show that motherfucker you don't ever disrespect women again because you did it over and over and over and over and were misogynistic as fuck over and over and over. And the day before I left, his ex-girlfriend, he had some other girl that he used to be fucking. She knew everything in his house. And he's just trying to bring all these women to create this problem. And so men that act like this, men that like to make women or women that like to make men fight for their attention, you will never have a divine partnership. You will never have good work ethic. You will never have good relationships, business, anything like this. You know, it's like Jin Jang is like two plies of wind, cold and hot. Oh, yin yang. Yeah, exactly. So we have to understand to get that good temperature that sometimes, right? Sometimes we have to let a little bit of that out. We have to find where the balance is. Now, if this guy is being so much of a bitch that I have to step up and be masculine and I have to call on, right? It's like, here's the thing. They can search and seize my property just because I have it showing that he's holding my shit hostage and that he's refusing to return it to me. That's enough for the police to just go and arrest him, detain him, and search and seize everything until they find my property, all of it. Then he's subject to fines and jail. That's not an if, and, or but. This is Indonesia. You cannot steal things. So is it really worth that little $6,500 to go to prison in Indonesia? I don't think so. But if you want to act like a bitch, then I will bring in the masculine entity and show you what law, what rule, what fucking authority, what actual emperor and authority looks like. And if that means I have to use an exterior authority to bring that into play, then that's what it is, right? Just like when feminine have to be more feminine, if they have to use their body or something else to get what they need. Men can say whatever they want, but men have systematically denied women if they didn't give them something. Everything was transactional. So where in your life are you making your love transactional, whether it's for another person or for yourself individually, right? Because this was my big meditation, my big coming to point. And that's why I wanted to do this video, is because in the end of the day, in the beginning of the day, in the beginning or the end, it doesn't matter. Where are we abandoning ourselves, right? He abandoned himself. He abandoned receiving the money, receiving the cake, receiving the keeping the friendship and all these other things because his ego wanted to demand, to control, to be misogynistic and in control of a situation. I'll pull that rug right the fuck out from under you and you're going to fucking fall so hard, you're going to break your fucking nose and your face is going to be bleeding. And that's where the feminine rage with the masculine authoritarian is coming into play, right? And so now that I'm not afraid of the man or the system, the police or anything else like that, because before they kept us systematically, especially coming from America, if you guys are from America, any of you guys are from America, is like women are systematically denied. Okay? I've had so much domestic violence, so many people that beat me, so many crazy things. And the police would always end up arresting me or doing some other shit. Why? Because it's a man's world. Because the US is a man's fucking world. It was. Whole world's gonna change. We're gonna go to matriarchy. And it's gonna change. And so this is part of it. That's what I realize is everything that we're experiencing as awoken, as chosen ones, as light warriors, as this or that. What comes in on the micro level is part of the macro imbalance. So, for instance, if you're trying to come in, if you're working, if you've been diligently working on the mission and you want to come in and you want to have these great communities and these divine unions and this love, this beautiful love that's really reciprocal and there's nothing fake and there's no mask and all of this stuff, then you have to be able to embody it and you have to be able to feel that. And if you don't protect yourself and if you don't stand for yourself, and if you don't put yourself, then how can you expect these miracles? How can you expect someone else to have that? It's like what I was telling you guys the other day. It's like my friend told me all the time. You can't want it more for them than they want it for themselves. You can't want it more for somebody than they want it for themselves. So it's like, I can be like, whatever, like, I don't need to be your fucking therapist. I don't need to be your mommy, and I'm not going to be. So if you want to be, if you want to keep treating me like your fucking mother, then you're gonna have repercussions and you're gonna get fucking bent over, the long arm of the law's fucking knee, and you're gonna get the shit fucking whooped out of you. If that's what you want. If that's what you want because you think you're bigger than the feminine, and you think you can be misogynistic and you think that you can make the feminine feel inferior, or if you think for any reason that feminine is inferior, you will never have that divine connection. Feminine is the source of creation. And this isn't about women being more powerful than men because we just innately are. our pain threshold, our ability to multitask, everything. We are just stronger. We have more brain, more capacity, more everything. But it's not about me being better than him. It's not about feminine being stronger than masculine. It's about recognizing, know your fucking role. And if your role, if initially you were trying to do something because you were trying to be so fucking helpful, but then when you realized actually, so this is what I did that really set him off, because I did to him, I mirrored him back the same shit that he did to me. So I was like, yeah, you can meet me here, right? He gave me this old phone that he's fucking hacking, that he's watching. And so I knew that, I could see that because I can intuitively feel that. So instead, what I did is I went on Bumble, I went on the dating application, and I was like, I'm gonna send him here where there's all these beautiful, big, like talented men and musicians and big black men too, and like I'm gonna send him there, and he's gonna wait, and he's gonna see that I'm gonna have another date or somebody else that I'm meeting there. He lost his absolute fucking shit. And that because he was fucking monitoring the phone that he gave me to help me. No, he's fucking trying to monitor. He's trying to, when you're viewing somebody through a screen and you're recording that and you're putting that on the dark web and you're making fucking AI porn and other things out of that, you are human trafficking. You are sex trafficking. That is sexual assault. You can't do that. You're going to go down for a lot of bullshit because you wanted to be a little bitch. So he lost his shit. He lost his shit. Why? Because he saw all the dudes dead. Now, if he would have brought the stuff, the homie that was there would have happily just given him the $100 or transferred it to him or whatever else he needed. But he was demanding that it was in cash. And I was like, cool, I have it, right? I held that fucking cash. I just gave it to my landlord yesterday because it's been a month already. I was like, fuck it, here, take the cash. Because this motherfucker obviously don't want it or need it as bad as they said that they did, even though they lent it to me until I could figure it out because they're trying to be stoic as fuck. But then 3 days later, when I try to get my stuff and I have somebody go there to pick up my stuff, they have a fit and, oh, well, let's just work this out and let's just meet. And so I had to meet somewhere where I had other men meeting me there too to see how he liked that. Not that I would ever date a child, but I just wanted to, it's just a little of reflection. It's just a little of showing a little bit of the misogynistic, a little bit of these energies, what they're doing, because what they don't like is when you do the same thing back to them. So women, let that be something that you also know. So if something you don't like that they do to you, don't fucking do it back to them. It's childish. It's child's play. Child's play. Now, everybody watched him there. He's on camera having an absolute fucking tantrum and then demanding that I show up somewhere that I invited him and said I would be here at this time. And now how can you demand that I show up somewhere earlier than I was supposed to be there? It's not possible. It's your ego trying to be in control and manipulate feminine and demand that feminine is below you or subservient to you. And that's never going to fucking happen. So if you want to see subservience, I'll have you in Indonesian prison on your knees trying to suck dick to get the fuck out of there. And I'll show you what subservient looks and feels like. If that's obviously what you want, no problem. No problem. And this is what the ancestors keep coming in. Don't feel bad for the repercussions of the karma that comes to the people that are attacking. Touch not my anointed. Stay anointed out there, chosen ones. Cold and hot, but it's mixed in the middle. Yes, it is a balance. The yin and yang is a balance. Buddhist theory about properly tensioned string was brought to him by the wind from another boat, if I remember correctly, by wind. So there's many elements, right? And we have to let things come. We have to let things go. We have to let things flow. And this is the element, is he's too much in his feminine, that he's trying to act too much in his masculine by dominating, by being dominant, by being misogynistic. That doesn't work. Just like feminine telling masculine everything what to do. That doesn't work. Now, is masculine really supposed to be running the fucking ship, I'm not exactly sure. I think that they're supposed to be captain, they're supposed to be stoic. I think they're supposed to be in this energy, but I think that the guidance system, the compass, the internal direction is the feminine energy. So if the feminine says, "Listen, I'm really stressed out. Stop stressing me out. I'm gonna be there when I said I'm gonna be there, and I'm not gonna be there before I fucking said I'm gonna be there. So stop fucking bothering me, or you're not gonna see me at all. Don't worry about it." But it's not my problem and it's not my fault. Now, the old me, the old empathic me would have been like, oh, well, this person showed up somewhere 12 hours early. So I have to drop what I'm doing to go there to meet them because they came early and I need to get my stuff. That's what the old empathic version would have done. The version that loves myself is like, you know what? I'm not going to entertain things that lower my vibrational frequency because this person wants to create this reactive abuse. So, what's the best way to cut a narcissist off at the fucking Lorena Bob at that shit, right at the fucking tiny little balls they have, and just and shove them in their mouth? But I'm not playing the game. Drop the tennis racket, walk off the court, and then there's no more battle. There's no more fighting, and that's what happens. You can't fight somebody that's no longer participating. Well, I have all your stuff, and I'm going to destroy it, and I'm going to blah, blah, blah. Okay, great, that's great. It's just clothes and shampoos and different stuff like that. Like, I'm a designer, I make clothes, and now I have all of my sewing machines and all of my materials and all of my patterns. I'm cool. Like, if you really want to threaten me, I don't deal with terrorism. So let this be a lesson to both masculine and both feminine. Why? I don't know. It has to be a lesson because obviously I'm talking about it. So the lesson behind this is something more deep, something more complex, which is neither person can be dominating, neither person can be in control. This is a divine thing. And when we're coming into divine union, we cannot control that. We don't control that. The only thing that we are ever actually in fucking control of is our response, our emotional state. Emotions are energy in motion. So sometimes the energy has to go in the motion of woo. Sometimes the energy has to go in the motion of woo. But we have to be aware that it's just energy in motion. And so when we get a stick up our ass because our ego, then the energy is not in motion anymore. It's just you're now becoming over emotional because you fucking plugged your asshole with the sticky stuck up it to be a fucking dipstick. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's that's what it is. So whether you're female or male, it doesn't matter. What matters is what you are resonating, your resonant frequency. God is a frequency. It's not something separate from yourself. Source, creator, divine is not something separate from yourself. This is where organized religion fucked everybody up. That it's separate, that you need to go to a church or an organization, or you got to have a priest to connect you, to be the middleman. There is no fucking middleman. That's what this person tried to do. Well, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to tell everybody all this weird shit about you, and then they're going to hold your shit hostage until you meet my demands. Okay, I'll meet your demands. You guys all want to go to fucking jail for stealing my shit, or you want to send it back to me? Your choice. Simple. Now we're going to handle it like adults. Like an adult, because you want to act like you need a fucking mommy, that I'm going to teach you a lesson like a little child. And that one's going to fucking sting. And you ain't going to get to play with your friends, and you ain't going to get to play the video games, and you ain't going to get to run around, and you ain't going to get to do all the things that you love to do because you wanted to disrespect the feminine. Now, this is the macro and the micro. This is how are we connecting with Earth, Mother Ocean, the moon. Everything is feminine in nature, even the cyclical scheduling of the moon, of the tides, everything. So how are we figuring out how to move with our rhythms and our cycles? How are we understanding that certain things create, block the energy in motion and create more emotion? Sometimes it's creating happiness. Sometimes it's creating anger. Many times for men, it can be creating jealousy. Also for women, I don't want to say one side or the other. It can be creating jealousy. And that's really what it was, is it was envy, jealousy, and ego that took over this kid's fucking envy because he saw someone else was going to have my attention and it wasn't him. Jealousy because maybe this person, these people look better or were more calm or were really willing to help me without it being needing to be transactional, right? And the ego is thinking that they can control somebody else doing something the way that they want them to do. What the fuck? You can't control anybody else. We barely have fucking control over ourselves. The only thing we have control over is our emotional states. And sometimes with all of this energy moving around, we actually don't have a lot of control over that, right? We're not having much control over that right now. Like, it's kind of intense, you guys. It's kind of intense out there. So, um, these are all separated, but it wants me to shuffle them. So we're going to shuffle them. And we're going to use Star Spinner. No, you don't want to use Star Spinner. You want to use this one. Okay. So this one I use very often with twin flame readings. And this is the Robin Wood Tarot. This has brought me so far on my twin flame journey. And even though it's like this, right? So I know my mission as Divine Feminine. I know I have to stay. Divine Feminine's job is to stay in devotion. Now, does it mean in devotion, blind faith, letting people fucking trample you like a doormat? No, it does not. Nowhere does it say be a doormat. Nowhere does it say be belittled. Nowhere does it say be subservient or be somebody's bitch. Nowhere. Nowhere does it say in the state of devotion are we above or below? Nowhere. Nowhere. Okay? I mean, and in religious texts, of course, because they wrote women out because they didn't like women to have more knowledge. Women were actually more into the astrology, the astronomy. They were able to see things and predict things. They were able to see sicknesses, marriage, children, birth, all different things by reading the astrology and doing all of this, right? And so that's what monotheism basically rinsed out before they burned the libraries of Alexandria to be like, actually, we want to just delete all this information. That way they can't, because women are smart. They're going to find that. They're going to find the fact checks. They're going to find the receipts. They're going to go and they're going to find the other friend that knows the other friend that's like, oh, I read about this, and they didn't want that. They're like, hell no, we got to burn it down. We got to burn everything down. And that's literally the level that they had to go to try to erase and rewrite from history, from this past energy. But they're coming out of control. All of that's coming out of control, falling out of control, and we're coming back into this thing. And the reality is most men, even though they don't want to be, we don't want to be feminists or we don't want to be matriarchy. Most men, actually, you guys, you would be much more happy in a, look at the sun even. You would be much more happy with a new beginning in a matriarchal state. Not because women run everything, because the way that we build and we run things in a matriarch is a little bit different. It's focused on people, their well-being, their health, the children, the safety, the security, which means men wouldn't have to be tough it out. Men don't cry. It would be like, let's talk about that. You seem to be experiencing a lot of feelings or emotions. Let's make time for that. And this is something that would be provided, right? To be able to get back, because what's happening is both feminine and masculine are so separated from source, so separated because they're over here like, I have to work. I'm a slave. I got to do this. I got to do that. The manosphere says this. The manosphere says that. Or feminism says down with men or whatever the fuck it is, right? And so we're separated from source because we've been conditioned for all of this work that's not helping us. Yeah, the empire in look at the emperor in reverse with the empress upright. You guys, I cannot make this stuff up. Even if I wanted to. I mean, I'm pretty like, I could tell some stories, but I don't need to. I need authenticity, right? So We're rebirthing something. See how she's pregnant? See how something she's gestating, something is gestating. The empire is coming down. So it's not going to work the same. The giving and receiving is not going to work the same as it has been. And in order to come into this union, it first comes with being able to be with ourselves, with being able to singularly be with ourselves. Now, for many men or women, I'm not going to be specific, that are needing constant sexual validation, external validation, that are having constant partners, or we're just friends with benefits, lovers. It means you're like a child. You don't have the ability to commit to something. You don't have the ability to commit to something. And what you're doing is now you're fucking everybody and you're bringing all their bullshit, all their family trauma, all of that, and you're bringing it to the next person. And what you're not doing is you're not telling the next person that you guys aren't exclusive, because you're not really exclusive. And so you're fucking everybody else and you're being like, well, I love you a little bit. And you're making people make uninformed decisions, right? Like this bitch next door is lying to her husband and her children. She's gonna go back there and fuck her husband when she could have got some weird fucking disease from this dude that fucks fucking hookers. Like, weird. That's weird. So by hiding this, look at this. Queen of Wands in reverse, Jezebel spirit, isn't going to work out. This is not sustainable. Okay. I literally cannot make this up. And that's the energy, is to constantly need the external validation, to constantly be seeking the dopamine. People that play video games, people that watch porn. And I'm not saying if you do it a little bit, I'm saying that it's consistent. It's a daily fucking thing. That's a dopamine hit. That is keeping you so separated from actually coming in, having a beautiful relationship, or actually coming into divine union, because you have been programmed, you have been systematically programmed, and you keep programming yourself to believe that this actors, that this movie, that this shit that they're making an industry to make money off of, to brainwash you, that you can be by yourself and you can just fucking yank it away, and watch sick fucking things, because you don't have the ability to actually have a connection with somebody and say, I want to explore these things. Let's do it. Because you don't have the capacity to be a decent human being and go on to like FetLife and be like, I want to try some weird shit. Like, no. Instead, you sit in your room and you fester by yourself while fucking all these other women and trying to pit them against each other. And you wonder why you can never come with the women. You wonder why you have to go yoink it by yourself in the fucking bathroom, where you have to finish it off by fucking porn, because you're seeking the dopamine. You're not seeking the fucking connection. And in order to feel a divine connection with somebody, you have to commit to being with that person for at least a week or a month or an extended amount of time to see if it's going to work out or not. You can't be talking to 5 different people, entertaining multiple different people, unless you're just like, I'm just trying to meet people. That's one thing. If you're fucking all those people, or you have the intent to be like, I could fuck her, her, or her, you're never going to have a connection. You're never going to have a union. You're not, because you're seeking dopamine. You're seeking external validation, and you're working on the old programming of exchange, that love is a transactional thing. Oh, well, you don't want to fucking suck my dick, I'll just go get a prostitute to suck my dick. It's like, bro, how about you do something? How about you do something that makes a woman feel good, and then she'll suck your dick without even have to ask? How's that for a fucking thought? When you're not treating her subservient, she might actually want to please you if you please her. How's that for a fucking trainer? Imagine what you give is what you get. So if you're not getting the attention and the love and all of that, either there's 2 things. Either your ego needs so much love and attention that there's no way, it's like a fucking bottomless pit that can never be filled, right? Or you're just making everything transactional. And no one's ever going to feel good. I don't care if you're a man, a woman, I don't care what you are. You're never going to feel, nobody ever feels good being subservient. But people do feel good being in service. Not subservient, but in service too. It's like this. It's real stuff, you guys. Yeah. And that's how you actually move forward. is by understanding this death and this rebirth, and by understanding the macro and the micro of this judgment level. So if you want to have more divine unions, how are you treating both parts of yourself? How are you not betraying yourself? How are you not making love be transactional for your individual self? For me, I'm just like, whoa, I actually don't have time for anybody else because I have to clean my space, or I have to, like I'm gonna make, like right now I've been cooking my pumpkin again. My cat's fucking so funny. And I'm gonna make, my landlords gave me this beautiful little offering. I have all these bananas from their organic trees, and I'm gonna make this beautiful banana pumpkin bread. Oh my gosh, so delicious. And like I'm just like, you know what? That's self-love. That's being like, what's gonna make me happy today? That's not hurting anybody else. If your happiness is hurting somebody else, then that's against divine order. Period. That's against the law of attraction, the law of correspondence, the law. It's against it all. Against it all. Yeah. The world. That shit will end really quick. Okay. So for many of you guys, this is really beautiful. Amazing, you guys. Okay. So for many of you guys have been working really hard. You've been lining the light and the shadow, right? You've been aligning those within yourself, and you're coming to this point. Now, for some of you guys, look at this yin yang in the middle. Look at that little yin yang in the middle right there. Okay. And see the stars above him. So this means I'm tapped into the higher realms. I'm tapped into the ethereal knowledge, and I'm in alignment. I'm in angelic alignment. See how he's got the little heart there and everything like that? I'm in angelic alignment. And the white and the black show both sides of ourself. And when they're in alignment, they can move forward, and the speed or the trajectory will pick up. Okay. So for many of you guys have been doing the work. You've been doing the work. 13, the death energy, the death and rebirth. You said, okay, this part of me is dead to me. These type of things, these type of treatments, these type of situations, excuse me, dead to me. Dead to me. I'm looking for things that smell beautiful, that look good. I think there's even like, yeah, there's a butterfly on here. So this whole rebirth. So in the process of understanding that it's not about eliminating the shadow, right? It's the shadow dancing. That's how I want to start this course, for you guys. The shadow dancing course. It's understanding how to integrate, not hide your shadow portions. And when you're like, listen, like for me, I'm like, okay, I know my shadow portion. So I decided not to fight back, because I'm like, if this person really gets me pissed off, I'm just going to fucking ruin his life. And then I'm like, I don't need to do that. That's actually my energy and my time actually is more expensive. Like he's not worth it. And that's where you draw yourself the fuck back in. You fucking bring your chair, you turn that fucking ship around. And you're like, oh, wait a second. I almost let this external person or factor change my internal alignment. And that's what the reactive abuse is what they're going for, right? And so when you realize and you only hold a judgment for yourself, that's when you hit that phoenix moment. That's when you start to rise like the phoenix, because you're like, the fire from inside me, everything that I was powerful from, all of it. Oh yeah, I'm now the creator of my world. All this old shit has ended, and all this new beautiful blossom is coming in. This manifestation energy is coming in. It's coming into play because I was truthful, because I was authentic, because I know where I'm at. So part of the divine union, this is something I was talking about yesterday, part of the divine union, part of the actual truth, the honesty, and this ability to come to connect, right? This is the caduceus, right? And this is medicine, this is energy, but this is also knowledge. This is also like Hermes, right? The lion, the wings, okay? So it's the ability to actually realize that if we will settle, right? Like let's say, for instance, if we'll settle Okay, so let's say, like when I was doing like a work trade and staying at this kid's place for like a week, right? I was making him food and doing all this stuff, right? And in exchange for a fucking piece of foam on a top loft floor and a fucking cold ass cabin next to a roof where fucking rats are living in it. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I was grateful to not be outside, whatever. So in the process of this, right, I played the game. I played the game to some extent. I left some fucking crazy old fuck's house because the way that he was speaking, he was telling other people that I was fucking sucking his dick to stay at his house, which is bullshit because I was also making him food and cleaning his space and fucking tending his garden and his animals. So this kid was like, well, that dude's never gonna change and blah blah blah. And so you just got to take people for who they are. You can't go around changing people. They have to want to change themselves. And I was like, oh, this is great. So when I was there, what I realized was this ultimate truth when he started bringing all these other people and these women and trying to pit them against each other and do all this weird stuff. I was just like, I'm gonna go upstairs and listen to something. I don't really care. Like, you guys fucking talk amongst yourselves. I'm not participating in this bullshit. And at that moment, I realized, okay, now I'm seeing the truth. I'm seeing everything for what it is, right? I'm seeing everything for what it is. I'm seeing the truth for what it is. But at the same time, I'm going to do the same thing, which is I'm going to put on a facade that's going to make him feel comfortable, that's going to make him feel like he's inferior, like he's telling me what to do or getting me whatever. But I'm just like, okay, just as many women and many people in abusive situations, okay? The abuse comes in many forms: verbal, mental, emotional, physical, okay? Many different forms. And I'm just going to let him think that he's in control. Stoic philosophy believes you have no control of the outside world. Yeah, so I'm gonna let this egotistical fucking child believe that they're in control of me or whatever's going on, just out of respect because I'm in somebody else's home also. And I'm going to play the game. And then, as most people do to try to get out of abusive or scary situations, right? They play nice until they can make their escape or their exit. And when they do that, okay, and this is exactly what happened, because I didn't want him to have a fucking tizzy fit, that's why I left my stuff there against my own better judgment. It's like, bring your stuff, bring your stuff, bring your stuff. And it's like, it's just going to get fucking weird if he doesn't believe that you're going to come back, because this person has major abandonment issues, total codependent, total manic, total bipolar, and probably like DID and borderline personality disorder, dissociative and borderline personality disorder. So I'm like, all right, I'll leave my bag here. I'll leave my bag here because it's just going to be, you know, it's going to be the thing. The guides are like, just do it. And I'm like, but I want to take it. I don't want to leave anything here that'll make me have to come back. They're like, "Da, da, 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 it's okay. It's okay." And I'm like, but what if I don't want to come back? Like, I'm going to go into my home space with all of my stuff. Why would I want to come back to be treated subservient? Right. He had another nicer pad, but he put me on the piece of foam that he makes his dog fucking sleep on. So this is the level of you're a subservient bitch, right? Whether it's mental or not, this is the level of abuse that narcissists put people at. And so because of that, yeah, bad move, always take your shit. Yeah, of course. But now look at it. Now here's the thing. If he doesn't return my stuff, then even though I really love that stuff, I actually come up thousands of dollars and he goes to prison. So the way that the guides are kind of showing me is like it's like repositioning the fucking control aspect. Oh, you wanted to treat me as if I'm subservient? Oh, you want to hold my stuff hostage? Great, because in this fucking country, that doesn't fly. Or that shit may fly where you come from, Russia or Ukraine or fucking America or whatever bullshit. That shit don't actually fucking fly here. Don't fly. And now you're either going to fucking return my shit and I'm going to make sure nothing has been touched. And if anything's going to been touched, I'm going to fucking sue you for that. Because the thing is, in America, you have to have a minimum amount. There has to be a minimum amount. Anything $500 or less is like a misdemeanor. And if it's 500 to 1,000, it's more of like a felony offense. Here, it doesn't matter. It's all the fucking same, but it gets at a higher and a higher and a higher level. So baseline is you go to jail and you pay a fine to the person for withholding for all these damages and all this other stuff, threatening, terror, all of that. Regardless, he's going to have to pay me. He's now going to have to pay me for treating me like this, for threatening me, for all of this stuff, whether he returns my shit or not, if I still want to press the charges. So either my shit either he gets searched and seized now and goes directly to fucking jail, or he pays me what my losses are and goes to jail. Or he returns my shit and all of my shit comes back and he fucking apologizes and leaves it at that because he doesn't want to fucking go to jail. That's where and so that's where we are. So now we're switching this reversal to where he was trying to create, I'm building this whole thing up to keep you subservient. Now feminine's like, I'm not subservient. I built this whole fucking system. What do I bring to the table, bitch? I am the fucking table. What did you bring to the world? What did I bring to the table? What did you bring onto this earth? Because I'm pretty sure women were the ones that brought everything. And you are only here in existence from coming through a fucking vagina and a woman wanting to bring you here. So shut the fuck up and respect females. Period. This shit is going to change. And if it has to change, if this is part of the macro and part of the micro, right, which is what the guides are kind of telling me to create, it's like imagine if you're like in the mafia or something like this, and somebody fucking steals your shit, or imagine if you're like a pirate captain, right, and somebody's trying to fucking like create shit against you, right? That's called mutiny. But what happens is, what happens in the mafia, what happens on the pirate ship, what happens? That motherfucker gets his throat stripped or his fucking tongue cut off. So everybody knows that they're a thief, a liar, something like this. And they have to be made example of. And so this is kind of what the divine is telling me, because I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is bullshit. Like I've fucking finally broken free after 9 months of dealing with this shit. And the one person that's trying to come in like a stoic fucking hero is actually the most manipulative abuser of all of them. And all of that was a fucking setup to try to keep me in a subservient state. How the fuck is that for you? That's some fucking next level shit, right? And so this is where you tried helping a friend in small claims. We lost because we didn't send the letter certified mail. Yeah, see, that doesn't happen out here. This isn't a small claim. It is a jailable and punishable by death offense to have property that does not belong to you. It's considered theft. In Indonesia, like if in Indonesia, so the way that it works out here is there's villages. I mean, in Bali, the way it works is they have the petrolon, and then they have so they have the higher government. The petrolon is like the county, right? And then there's like the local village, and then there's like the police. So what happens, the way that it works is if somebody gets caught stealing, like the whole community, the whole village will fucking stone them. They will beat the fuck out of them, or they will punish them, like physically, not just go to jail. Like they might lose a finger, they might lose a hand or a nose or something. Like it's not a joke out here. It's like wild east. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different thing. And so where in other countries where it's like, well, yeah, try to take me a small claim score. It's going to cost you a lot more money to try to fucking get your shit back from me. And I'm going to be a dick about it. Like actually out here, that's not how it fucking works. Actually out here, if I show them, here's the text messages of this person, terrorist threats, threatening me and holding myself hostage and refusing to return my personal property if I don't, now they're blackmailing and going for extortion. So if I don't pay him some type of money that he expects from me, that he's demanding of me, he's extorting and blackmailing me for stolen property of mine. He goes almost directly fucking to, that's like firing squad shit. Firing squad shit. It's fucking crazy, right? And unless he has like lots of money, unless he can pay out like $5,000 USD to these people to make them fucking let him go or to wash it away, it ain't happening. It costs a lot. Like, yeah, there's corruption here, but it's fucking, that's a pretty fucking penny. And that motherfucker, if you're crying over a fucking $60 to $100, like, you ain't got no legal fucking, you ain't getting checks. You're getting checked, mate. So, um, what is this? True men forget that only if they have sisters. Yeah, I actually have really noticed that. And this is systematically what we've been programmed. So we have to unprogram. And this is kind of going back to what we started at is we have to deprogram, right? We have to stop repeating these old things. And as we individually, singularly start to say, okay, this is my truth, this is my love, this is how I show self-love, this is how I show self-respect, this is how I do all of these things. And in the process of doing them, every woman that speaks up for herself puts a ripple in the whole divine feminine collective, through the whole collective, is standing up for all the women. I know it sounds like whatever, but it's macro and micro, right? Same with man. Every time a man starts to act in this embodied masculine, in someone that's protecting the feminine and the patriarchy, right? That probably has sisters or daughters or something like this, it ripples out. It's like the 100 monkeys theory. You guys familiar um with the 100 monkeys theory? So basically, like I believe it was maybe like in the Philippines or maybe off of Japan or something like this, and they were studying these monkeys, a specific type of monkey, and they were studying them for an extended amount of time. And what happened is the monkeys would throw um, they would get these fruits, some fruit or some food, something like this. And they would get it down from the tree and then it would fall and it would hit the dirt or the mud or whatever and it would be whatever. And so they'd have to chew the exterior off and spit it out because there's all the dirt and stuff that was on it in order to eat the fruit or whatever that was on the inside. So after a while, these baby monkeys, these little kids were like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna roll this over here into the ocean because if we rinse it off, then we can eat the whole skin and everything, and we don't lose any of the fruit, and we're not eating dirt and rocks, right? And so after 100 of the monkey, like after a while, they started adapting to it, and after 100 of the monkeys actually started doing this adaptive behavior, it exponentially rippled out into all the other islands where they're not seeing it, and this is the actual collective consciousness, this is what it is, collective consciousness in an actual fucking study. They just started doing it. All the other monkeys on all the other islands just started doing it. It just became adaptable, just like when a cat hisses when something is attacking it, like the monkeys were like, boom, we rinse the fruit and then we eat it. Simple. And it just became the thing that they did. Just became the thing. And so it's basically the same thing. So every time we let somebody get away with this attacking narcissism, with the misogyny, with the subservience, whatever. And a large portion of me was like, you can't keep sitting here and being subservient, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, well, whatever, you're going to go and it's going to be fine and whatever. And then the day before I left, the day before I left, his other fucking girlfriend, his other ex-girlfriend came and he was fucking screaming at her like a fucking psychopath. Screaming. He's like, he looked like he was gonna fucking, he looked like the fucking Hulk, right? Like he was gonna explode or something. And I was like, oh, he was putting on a mask this whole time, trying to be like, oh, we're good, we're buddies. Men and women can get along. It's like, yeah, you can get along as long as you're fucking clout surfing. But as soon as somebody actually shows up, and this girl was she was young. She looked like fucking 17 years old. She looked like even maybe younger. And she brought food and all this other stuff. He fucking threw it and did all, like, now I don't know whatever happened, but the reality of the situation is he did this. He created that. And he was taking me to different places so all the people would see. So she would fucking come up there and be like, who is this girl? And I was just like, I'm not ever gonna fuck this dude. Don't worry about that. Nice to meet you. You're really pretty. I'm trying to help him do some therapy sessions, you know? But the reality is he did all of that to create clout for himself. And when he fucking freaked out and he screamed and threw shit out and did all this fucking psycho shit, you bet your ass the next morning I was like, nope. Because in my soul, I was like, okay, I can't lie to myself and be okay with the way that this person is treating women. That's how I actually ended up in Bali. Am I in cut a hand off? Yeah, yeah, sometimes fingers, sometimes hands. It depends. It depends on what people steal, and it depends if they keep lying about it, and it depends if fucking the whole community. I mean, it's punishable by death. Theft is punishable by death in Indonesia. Firing squad. He is subject to going in front of a firing squad. Do you understand? Like lined up on a wall, guns, gonna fucking shoot you in the fucking head. That's where his ego has led him. And let this be a lesson. Let this be a lesson. You don't fucking control shit. And you shouldn't take shit that doesn't belong to you. And you shouldn't, especially, take things from women. And you shouldn't, especially, treat women as if they're not fucking smart and they're subservient fucking idiots, because we're not. Because all the time that we've been sitting here quiet, we've been learning. When women used to get dressed, and this is why I don't believe when women want to sell their bodies and stuff like this was the only way that they were able to make their own money. Unless they had a husband, like they weren't allowed. When women started coming in, when they started wearing the choker, this was because, like, to stand in unison. When they started dressing up, that was signals, that was sign. When they did the tarot cards, when they took out a lot of this, when they burned the libraries of Alexandria and stuff like that, they put a lot of the information into the fucking tarot and other places where masculine couldn't destroy it. That's what's happening. That's what's been happening for fucking an extended amount of time. So we're stepping into this victorious love state. Okay. And how we do that is by coming back as that is by stepping away from old patriarchal systems. Everything that we have been told or programmed is wrong. And we understand in order for us to be victorious, we have to go out, we have to be the knight, we have to go through the dark night of the soul, we have to make peace with the dark and the light sides of ourselves, the dark and the light sides of the earth, right? Like for me, I was like, you're right. I don't want to be around a childish somebody that treats women like they're his fucking mother, or they're fucking psychotherapist or whatever. Like I'm not here for free. I'm not here for free. And as a matter of fact, for me to do psychotherapy, for me to do sessions, I start at 360 euros an hour. That's about actually not even like 48 minutes. So you want to sit here and complain about your girlfriend? That's great. That's going to fucking cost you. You want me to be a personal chef? You want me to be a fucking maid? You want me to listen to you? You want me to go somewhere with you and be like your fucking puppy? That's going to cost you. My time is very valuable. My energy, my thought, my even just listening to your bullshit. I mean, even people that have no idea about psychology or emotional therapy or anything like that, you can still go and get a job listening to people, like a listening consultant for like $20 to $60 an hour, starting with no, you don't even have to have any fucking psychology background. You just have to listen. Just be a compassionate listener. Like, bitch, I'm sorry, but you fucking owe me actually. I'm actually thinking about submitting a fucking bill for my time on top of that shit. How's that? And so what it did actually for me is it put me in this different state of actually, where am I selling myself short? Right? Because in any other situation, you know, if someone wanted me to do a card read, if someone wanted me to do a session, he had me fucking channeling his dead mother. And then after he felt better for the like the next day, he was like a whole fucking new man. It was like, oh, well, I didn't really consider that a session. And it's like, bro, I was speaking, channeling your dead fucking mother. You don't consider that a session and you don't want to write me a note. And he's like, well, I just think women overreact what they think actually a session actually is what like a legitimate, like, I just help you heal one of your strongest core wounds. And then this is what happens, right? I have spell work out. I have protection spell work out. So anybody that doesn't actually want to do the work and anybody that doesn't respect the work and the energy that I put in, it will come back to them a hundredfold. And I will be receiving that energetically. So that's why when he didn't respect it, he didn't want to write the thing, he didn't want to do all the stuff, he wanted to keep me subservient. That's why his shit's crashing down. That's why he had a crash out. That's why he had a major ego. He may have even gotten in a car crash. He may have been one of the person that got in the fucking car crash. You got to be careful the seeds that you're sowing, okay? Because these old structures aren't working for us anymore. Patriarchy is fucking dead. This fucking people or disrespecting them as if they're a fucking whole is fucking dead, okay? The only thing that is worth anything is love, is the offering of love. So you guys have to be in a more heart space. And if you don't love yourself, then you're going to let other people treat you like shit. Cut a hand. Are you in Bali now? Yes, I live in Bali, Indonesia. That is where I live. Monkey see, monkey do. Yes. Yes, it can be very scary. Oh, you were his jealous ex-girlfriend gig. I'm guessing you don't talk. Yeah. So, and this is the thing, is he wasn't trying to help me. He was trying to make the other girl that he used to date that used to live there because she knew where everything was, even the fucking slippers and everything where it was in that fucking house. And was really demanding, telling him everything what to do. And then the other girl that came up that he fucking freaked out on the day before, the night before I left. Yeah, that was another girl. So he's like running all these women and trying to pit them against each other. So I never fucked him. I never dated him. I stayed at his house because he wanted to do a session, right? He was like, I'm really interested to do a session. Maybe we can exchange a session, or maybe you can come and do a session and exchange. But then as soon as I was there, it was like, oh, will you cook? Oh, will you do this? Oh, will you do nutrition? Oh, will you do that? Like, I need this. I need the reading. I need you to channel. And so the old empathic me was like, yeah, I'm going to help this person. This person is helping me. But really, they keep taking and taking and taking and taking and taking until you become subservient to them. And that's what he was trying to systematically program into me. And because I came from fucking a lifetime of narcissistic abuse, I was doing it because they kept asking. So at some point in time, you have to decide what your boundaries are. That is the love. That is the love. This is actually, so this is how I got to Bali. No, I know. I told him when he chilled out to fucking give me a call, and he sent me all these messages being like, I fucking talked to this other dude on the mountain, and you can fucking talk to him about getting your shit back. Your stuff will be okay or safe and not wet and not destroyed for 1 fucking week. That's the amount of time you have, and then your fucking time's up or whatever. Like, so yeah, terrorism, threats, fucking extortion, blackmail, all of it. And why are you bringing some other person into it? And why would you drive an hour down to a fucking place and not leave the shit that you fucking brought there? How much of a fucking temper tantrum are you having? ah, no. I'm from San Francisco. I'm in Bali. So how I got to Bali, which is actually an interesting story, is when I had my art studio in Berkeley, this other person that I had met in Southern California that was working in Peru, he came, and after a while, after actually it was like 5 years or something out on my boat, and I drop phones in the ocean, right? It just happened. Like they get wet, and the salt water is not forgiving. You can't really, you can try to rice it, but it's not the same. It's not regular water. It's not like in a pool or a lake. Fucking the ocean is the ocean. Salt water is just destroys shit, whether it's new or not. And so after a while, when I reset up my Gmail, this old person, after like 7 years or 10 years or something, popped up, and he was fucking tripping out because he was actually asking the divine, like praying and asking the divine to bring in these people to help create, to help find these places and these sanctuaries, and to create all of this. And this is something that we had talked about before. And I was supposed to go out there and meet him in Peru and whatever. He gave me these crazy tiger's eye that I lost at the ocean. And my friend wrapped in gold with all this stuff. And I lost it one day when some other fucking asshole tried to let off the anchor of my boat. But Pirate Tie had it hooked on both sides. So even though they unhooked it on one side, it fucking let all the roba. I almost went into the things, and that's why I lost that. But anyways, when I was up in Berkeley and I was like feeling all this weird energy, and I was like, what the fuck, right? Like after my boat, I went up and had like a sewing studio in Berkeley for about 3 months, 3 or 4 months. And then this guy was like, listen, I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it. My girlfriend and I got this like fucking little tent. It's got two different rooms, blah, 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 blah. Like, let's go tour around Europe. We'll take you. We'll take you for the summer. We'll take you. They basically gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. You buy the ticket out here. We'll take you around. You got to buy your food or whatever, but we'll take you around and we'll do all of this. 1 week, 1 week with them. And the way that that dude, even though I had known him and he is the one that invited me out there, the way that he was speaking to his fucking girlfriend as if she was a subservient fucking cunt, I couldn't deal with it anymore. And I fucking freaked out on him. And I was like, listen, I'm not going to deal with this. This is her car. This is her shit. She sold her stuff. She's on this fucking mission to help us find these places and these people and these sanctuaries. Why are you talking to her as if she's your fucking bitch? She's like, you don't get in the middle. This has nothing to, I was like, it has everything to do with how you're fucking treating somebody. And I can't keep dealing with this. If I keep hearing you speaking to her like this, there's going to be a problem. And so what happened is we started in France, and like in the south of France, and we're in Paris, okay, and then went down to the south of France, and then we're coming around, and by the time we made it to Belgium, to this little fucking stay, I was like, tomorrow you take me to the fucking, if he starts this shit again tomorrow, you're gonna take me to the fucking train station, please. And he was such a fucking cunt that I had to take him to the train station the next fucking day. And um yeah, they didn't really think that I was going to walk away because we had this whole thing planned. And it's like, I didn't know where I was supposed to go. I didn't know what to do. And so I ended up fucking touring by myself, doing couch surfing and doing workaways and doing all these other things, work, trade, and exchange and all this other shit, through Europe for about, I don't know, from the beginning of, from the beginning of 2019, from like the beginning of 2019. And then I got to Bali in October. And so, yeah, when it was time for me to go back, I had a boyfriend in Italy for a couple months, 2 or 3 months, something like that. I was only supposed to be there for like 5 days. And then I ended up meeting somebody that was um, so compassionate, and I had never experienced that before. And so it tripped up my getting here to Bali, which was like kind of what I was on. I was going to come to Bali and meet my friend, and then we were going to go to Australia, but then all of Australia caught on fire in the beginning of November or whatever. So, anyways, I got stuck in Bali, and then the pandemic started, and everybody's like, "Come back, come back, come back." And at that point, I was in Thailand. I was maybe 2 months in Thailand. I was doing a visa run for like 2 weeks, and I got stuck 2 months in there. Didn't get stuck. I like to be places. I like to absorb them a bit. And I was like, shit, I was foreseeing all of this stuff coming in. I was foreseeing needing the hand sanitizer and all this stuff. And these kids from China, they were so funny. They brought out these big bottles and they're like, hey, witch, is this going to be enough to keep us clean? And I was like, you need to decide where you want to be, the community you want to be in, where you're going to be. And I fucking woke up the next day and was like, I got to get on a flight. And I left Thailand like before my visa was even done here. And everybody's like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You're going to have a fucking problem. And I did it regardless. And after like 20 days, 30 days, something like this, they rebuked the need because of COVID to have the visas and all this other stuff after like 30 days, because you get the first 30 days and people are like, you didn't pay for the 60-day to come in. And I was like, I didn't have the fucking money because I put all the money to getting the visa. And they're like, we'll get the money back. And I was like, I can, but not yet. And so anyways, um, I ended up getting some of that money back, but at the time that I entered, I only had enough for fucking 30 days. And people were like, what the fuck are you thinking? And I was just like, whatever. And what happened is after that, at like 25 days or 26 days, they're just like, we're canceling the need for visa because because I got on the last flight as they were closing all the airports in Asia. And I was stuck for one day in what's that place? Not in Malaysia. I'm like, not Myanmar, in Malaysia. And so I was stuck for one day in Malaysia and I was like, oh fuck, I'll go back to Thailand. I don't want to do this. But I made the decision I want to go to Bali because I already had all the clothing that I had sewn by hand. And I wanted to finish that. And I was like, people are actually cleaner. There's a lot of different stuff here that I felt really called, a lot of spirituality and different stuff here. And so that's how I ended up in Bali because the same shit, because I wasn't going to deal with some fucking misogynistic, controlling ass bullshit. And so, yeah. And so I get to be here and I'm so grateful. And this, like what I thought I initially came here for, to create these sustainable lines of clothing, which I have. I've created 6 of them. I still haven't launched them yet. And that's going to be okay because I'm going to sell them to probably a higher brand where I'm going to get to control how everything goes down. And the whole world is going to have more access to them, right? The wholesale and the retail aspect. And where these people try to off me and steal my intellectual property and all of that shit now, it's like everything's already been copyrighted, everything's already blah, 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 blah. So that's what I'm saying is sometimes the patience, right? The perseverance, the prudence of sticking to your guns, like what you innately know is good or right or wrong, and be like, no, this isn't right. Like, you know, when something's not right, you know, when you're treating somebody like shit and you still do it, you're a bad person. Like, if you go to jail because you wanted to be a dick and steal my personal fucking property, karma is a witch, bitch. Don't do it. Bad. He was sending me all this stuff. Karma's gonna fucking get you. It's gonna fuck you up the ass. All this stuff. So you know what? Boom. Return to sender. I return to sender that shit. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what the fuck actually happens, and I think it's gonna be funny. So, um, so that's how I got to Bali. I do stand out quite a bit in Bali. I've learned to tune it down quite a bunch coming from the Bay. Don't they believe in Bali women are less? No. As a matter of fact, there's high priestesses here that are actually, well, it depends on who you ask. It depends on the priest that you ask. But most of them will tell you that the high priestesses are actually higher ranking because they're cleaner or clearer because they're not allowed to take husbands, where the priests are allowed to take wives. And when I sat in front of a high priestess last year, we did this little retreat, and I asked her, why are high priestesses not allowed to take husbands, but priests or monkus, as they call them out here, are allowed to take wives, or they have to have the wife or whatever? And she was like, "Why do you think? It's standard procedure. It's obvious." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "Because women don't need men to do things, but men require women to be able to do things." Because a man to hold a higher rank or position requires a woman to stand behind him. A woman does not. So actually, what's interesting is Bali is about 87% Hindu. The Balinese are more Hindu, even though Indonesia itself as a country is Muslim. And that could be where you're getting a little bit confused. So there is a lot of Muslim, and yes, they do belittle women. And I have with several sewers and tailors and other things had serious problems with it because they're just like, well, women don't give orders to men. And I'm just like, bitch, I fucking pay you to make my order. So if you got an issue working for a woman, then return my money. Now they stole all my shit, of course, but it doesn't really matter, neither here nor there. But yeah, that's a definite thing. And this is part of the organized religion, right? Christianity, Protestant, Catholic, Muslim, Jewish. It's all that the order can only be handled by the men, and that's what they're hiding underneath the Vatican is actually the codes that shows Lilith and feminine energy and all these other things have access, and they don't want people to know that because they can't control and manipulate, because then they can't fucking be pedophiles and do blood rituals and sacrifices and do this. because they created Jesus. They wrote that. Constantine wrote it into the patriarchy, just like the devil, right? To be this fear monger and for people to worship men. So actually, the base form of religion that everybody's going off of, the patriarchy has actually created to distort the human consciousness to worship a man, to worship a false idol, man, because creation is feminine itself. So pretty crazy, right? Um, I am all alone on Bali. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Good to see you too. Are there white men in Bali? There's all kinds of people in Bali. There's all kinds of people in Bali. Ciao. Nuclear orange. That's tight. Take care. Yeah, that was the end point. Is basically you hit it right on the head, Heidi. Is men, their fragile little ego gets upset because um they thought that they could do something. It's like, so you lent me money because you were trying to be stoic, right? You did something, and then you gave me some money as a treat yourself, but then you started being like, you fucking owe me that. Like before you're like, I'm giving it to you, and now it's you fucking owe me, man. Like I said, it's like no, he's not like the Hulk. He's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, because he's fucking manic depressant and bipolar and like borderline personality disorder and like DID, dissociative disorder. Um, and so yeah, that is a big portion of it. So a big portion of it is also learning in this state of love and in the state of building this new thing, who is right and who is not right to work for. Sometimes it's better if we're working for ourselves. And as we're working for ourselves and coming into the better alignment with ourselves, we're going to have the people that are going to come towards us. Now, when you're being gang stalked and all this other stuff, and you feel like somebody shows up and you're like, wow, this person's super on point with me. It's like, yeah, are they on point with you or are they the side? I think that this fool can't even get his fucking dick up. And that's what he said. He's like screaming and threatening this girl and was like, well, if you weren't here, we would have been fucking and everything would have been fine. And I was like, that's cool. I can go. You could have just asked me to go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have just gone and got another room for the night or something. You could have asked, you didn't, but instead you want to try to fucking make me feel bad for it. And like, I'm not going to carry your bullshit burdens of you putting all that shit in yourself, And what he was calling me with every fucking day, leaving me messages every day after that, like, oh, my ex has so many bad things to say. She wants to fight you. It's like, bro, why did you just bring me in the middle of your fucking relationship? Like, I'm done. We're done talking. I'm done. I'm not gonna fight you. Like, first of all, I see what you got going on through your little fucking pants, and you got a tiddlywink. Number one. Number two, you treat women like they're subservient, which means you probably don't lick good pussy. Bye. Because in my world, a man physically serves me and serves me and serves me and serves me until I'm fully served and I feel good enough to maybe be of service to him if I'm not too tired. That's the way that it works in service to the goddess. Cha-ching. That's the money in the bank. That's the old money. That's the whatever. No, that's the reality. This isn't funny. This is real shit. I can't even make it up. It came from the cards. But this is the reality. So other than balancing within ourselves, guides, feminine energy. Feminine energy. I have a whole song I wrote about this. I'll have to bust it out for you guys. Feminine energy. It begins to enter me. I think it's on this phone that I'm recording on, though. Otherwise, I would read it to you. It's super awesome. I should actually just like record it and make it awesome thing. But the Empress, so it's about what are we gestating? What are we birthing? As we're birthing this new era, as we've gone into this hermit mode, as we've removed ourselves, as we stop to be attached to these old scenarios, as we stop to be emotionally driven or attached to these things or these outcomes, right? Like what are we birthing? What are we gestating, right? As we come out, as we find this light, the hermit energy is it's the inner guidance, the inner light that exists within. And as we're finding that inner light, and as we're entertaining and following that inner light, that's what starts emanating out, right? This is the Venus energy. And again, this is interesting play, like on this, what do you call it? The Sleeping Beauty shit, you know? See this little spindle? Um, it just shows like the infiniteness of creation itself, right? It's like she's gestating, she's creating, she's already pregnant, and she's still taking some type of silk or some type of wool or something like this, and she's still spinning it. So it's like I take one thing and I turn it into something else. I take one connection, I take one sperm and I grow a whole body. I take one fucking room and I make a whole studio, right? You make a house, a home. A woman multiplies anything what a man provides for her. So if the man, and this is just real, guys, if you are not providing a safe emotional space for the woman to create and to gestate, if you are keeping her subservient instead of being of service to her, then she is going to give you what you give her. She is going to multiply. You give her fucking attitude, you give her lies, you give her mistrust, and she's going to start doing shit behind your back. Why? Because that is what you gave to her. Whether she knows that's what you're giving to her directly or not, her intuition, her body ultimately is responding to it. Ultimately, it's responding. It's a response. Emotion, the energy is in motion and the body is responding. It's like, oh, something doesn't feel good here. Mostly it's because somebody is either entertaining somebody else and it's someone else's energy that they picked up on, someone else's bad karma, someone else's trauma that they're fucking that they picked up on, and now they're giving it to you because the female is always the receiver. Male gives, female receives. So give the female better energy, give her better chances, give her better love, give her better whatever the fuck it is. You want to create the balance. Like this is, and this isn't just me saying this to men. This was me. I had to learn this lesson. I had to go in. I had to be the hermit. I've been the hermit. Okay. I had to go in. I had to find the light within. And what did I find? That I also have to honor the feminine. I have to say, you know what? I'm not dealing with this shit right now because I'm not going to ever have another man that belittles, that treats me subservient, that tells me, that gives me a fucking ultimatum. Get the fuck out of here. You didn't do anything for me. I'm sorry. You didn't make me come. You didn't pay my fucking bills. You didn't relieve any stress. You caused me fucking stress. I have no interest in fucking you. So what do you have to fucking offer me? What are you giving to me? What are you providing me besides extra stress? The fuck off. And you're upset now. You're wondering why I'm going to sit over here in hermit mode by my fucking self creating beautiful things? Well, gee, because I'm not there to be your fucking cheerleader. No woman is there to be a man's fucking cheerleader. And if you're doing it, you're part of the problem with the misogyny. Females, you're part of the problem. If you're entertaining that, now if a man's providing everything for you, if he's providing you that love, that safety, that security, that protection, and this and that, and you feel a certain way, some type of way, then it's different. Okay? The reason why I ended up staying in Italy is because I never had a man treat me like that before. I was like, what the fuck? It's just like, you don't like, he got insulted that I tried to offer money when he was taking me. I brought you to dinner. If you ever do this again, he told me one time. And then the second time I did it, he was like, oh, so if you do this again, I just want to let you know I'm going to freak out. This is so insulting to me. This is insulting to me. If I invited you somewhere, I pay for it. The man pays for it. And even when I was there, I would make these foods or these desserts. I would clean the house every day. I would do the laundry and make the bed and do all the stuff. And they're like, but we have a maid that comes like once a week or every other week. It's like, you don't have to do that. Like, just go out and enjoy yourself. And I was like, it's not that I have to do that. It's that I want to do that. It's that naturally, by nature, because I'm cared for, I'm protected, I feel safe, I feel taken care of. Someone's looking out for me, someone's feeding me. I don't have to worry about sleeping on the street. Like, what do I have to do? Like, yeah, I'm gonna get up and do your laundry and clean the area, and then I'm gonna go about my day. But you don't have to. You're wasting your day. You don't need to. You're beautiful. You belong in the sun. The sun loves beautiful people. Spend more time in the sun. And I was just like, I couldn't understand it. That's how I got stuck there. That's literally because it was like, when a man is not in this mode, not in this sexually trapped or driven mode, um, you know, then you don't feel abandoned. You don't feel like you're being abandoned. You don't feel like you're abandoning yourself. Okay. It's like when the man has all these addictions, when these man has the secrets, when the man has the lies, when the man has the side piece, right? He's abandoning himself, not just feminine. He's also abandoning himself. Yeah, because he's not being true. He's not being true, and he's not rising to the occasion, and not in the way that you think. I mean, leveling up. Yeah. So I had to get away from this. I had to say, this person doesn't care. Okay. This person doesn't care if they're abandoning me. They don't care that they're withholding my stuff. They don't care that they have all of my fucking whatever, you know? They care more about their clout. They care more about their addictions. They care more about whatever this is. And that's going to come back to bite him in the ass. See how he's reaching now? See, now he's trapped. He's chained to that. He's stuck to that in the physical realm. And he's chained and he can't get out. He's like trying to reach to get out, but he's fucking chained to it. They're both chained to it. So who you share, again, who you have sacred energy exchange, sex with, you are chaining yourself to on a higher spiritual level. So make sure what you choose, the path that you choose in the physical, guys, and what you give to yourself and how you treat yourself. Only that which you allow is that which will continue. So, and that was that 1101. So what I can say about that is, if you're not honest from the beginning about how someone should treat you or what you need or how your needs need to be met, even with yourself, like for me, I'm like, what do I need? I need my needs to be met, which means um, I'm going to work in a different way, which means if somebody can't meet my baseline needs, then I'm not going to participate, right? It's the same thing when I told my ex when he tried to come back and he's like, well, we could just be friends with Bennett. It's like, no, no, no man, woman, or any object will ever enter my temple again if they cannot provide me the safety, the security, and the respect, the fucking human decency of authenticity, of being fucking honest and clean. They can't enter because I connect to fucking archangels. Do you understand? I connect to the highest divine spirit, and I'm not trying to be dirty. And if you want to go around and be dirty, then be a fucking whore fucker. Go for it. But don't come back and expect to enter my temple, or for me to have any respect for you, or for me to ever want to touch you, or for me to ever allow you to touch me again. Disgusting. He passed the level. It's like, dead. You're dead to me. The judgment is there. And it's not me judging you. You can say, oh, well, you're just judging me. No, it was a choice. It was a choice that you actively made. Just like every day we make the choice to either give that cup of love to ourselves or to somebody else. And are we filling somebody else's cup of love before we're filling our own? And the only reason that should be happening is if we're in divine union and that person is always filling our fucking cup. If the pitcher is always full and it's different people pouring into each other's cup, that's different. But generally speaking, unless we know exactly how to offer ourselves this cup of love, unless we know how to honor our heart and ourself, like for me, I'm just like, it's like, I'm not offended to be alone. I spent fucking 6 years on a boat in an ocean. It was my favorite fucking thing. Why? Because nobody could get to me unless I had a little boat. And those are my homies on the boats. Like, you know how many times I made a guy get off my fucking boat, even a homie or somebody else? And I was like, and he was like, well, the shore boat isn't running anymore. I'm gonna have to stay on your boat. And I was like, here's a fucking pool floaty. Have a nice swim. Should have thought of that first. Here's a baggie for your fucking phone and your shit. Straight up, bro. Straight the fuck up. Straight up. Like, you have to have your boundaries. You have to have your limits. And if you don't know where your love lies, then how can somebody else meet you there? They cannot. They cannot. If you can't meet your own needs, if you can't meet yourself in the space, offering yourself the own love in your own heart for yourself, your own boundaries, someone else cannot meet you. It's not possible. They're going to meet you. You're going to meet people at the frequency. You know, I saw something and somebody was like, what energy am I putting off that I get all these dudes that want to send me fucking dick pics? And it's like, she's like, is that the energy I'm outputting? And it's like, maybe, because you're not fucking cutting somebody off because you're not Lorena Bobbitt in that shit. Like, block. You know, you're obviously like finding it funny or thinking about it, or maybe you're thinking too much about dick. The dudes are just now sending you pictures of their dick instead of showing up because you're not thinking about love, you're thinking about dick. I don't know, but it's a vibrational frequency. So for me, okay, maybe my vibrational frequency is so high and so happy of being at peace and in love and in serenity when I'm by myself, then maybe that's what's blocking. It's potential. It is a potential. Woman is creation. Men don't do it in New York anymore. Showing the mirror effect. You didn't know that. Yes, I don't live far from the water. This was my big victory. So even though I'm in a smaller space and the first place I've ever been without a view, kind of like, I hate to feel trapped. I hate to feel like I'm in a box, but in a space I feel like I'm in a box. But at the same time, I don't have to worry about external third parties. I don't have to worry about external bullshit. I don't have to worry about men treating me like I'm their fucking maid or their fucking mother or their subservient fucking bitch. So, is it my optimal position? No. But am I safe and at peace? Which means, am I able to do my job? Am I able to do my soul's calling every day? Am I able to connect with people in a loving heart space? Instead of running around and being exhausted all the time, instead of being in survival mode, like I pretty much spent the last 30 days resting. My nervous system is still attempting to regulate from those fucking psychos. And that's what they want, right? That's what they want because they can gain more off of fear and off of trauma and off of problematic situations. And so that's why to be victorious, to be victorious, you can't let them win. You just fucking Lorena Bobbitt that shit. Chop that shit right off at the head. And then you don't have the problem anymore. And it starts with, again, we are the ones creating it, right? We are the ones choosing to create or produce or whatever the misogyny. And I realize a lot of my programming, a lot of where I come from, was very misogynistic. Even me, I'm just like, oh, that chick's hot or whatever, you know, like for me, I think it's funny, like, but I've had to change the way that I speak about it or the way that I joke about it. So now it's just like, I mean, I've always complimented women, but it's like now it's more about, wow, you're really amazing. You're super beautiful. You know, like I will be the one that walks up to the most gorgeous chick at the thing and be like, wow, look at you. You're amazing. What's your name? Like, you're magical. And instead of being like, damn, that bitch is fine. Like, no, don't call a bitch. A bitch is a dog. A bitch is a dog. And that is why men related bitch turned woman into bitch because they wanted to make them subservient. A dog is like ego, right? The dog is, it will love you no matter what. It doesn't matter what you do to the dog is still going to love you. The dog is loyal. It doesn't matter if you're mean. It doesn't matter if you don't feed it. It doesn't matter. If you fed it once or you try to whatever, the dog is going to be. The cat is more feminine. Why? Because the cat, you have to gain the cat's trust. If you do something to piss off the cat, like if I tell my cat, I'll be back in a couple hours and I'm not back for fucking 2 days, the cat's going to bitch me out. And then it's probably going to maybe like go somewhere else for a day or just like not want to cuddle and not want to be sweet because it's like, fuck you lied to me. I don't give a fuck what you, don't give me an excuse. Don't give me this fucking treat. You lied to me. And you have to reprove yourself every day over and over again, right? With the cat. So that's why they made women into the bitch, because they wanted to keep them in this subservient state. And that's what I realized, even though there was positive aspects about this person, about this individual, like ultimately, this individual as a whole disrespected women and wanted women to be subservient and didn't have any man shit to offer. You want to sit there and play video games and say that there's a problem with the woman because she's not sucking your dick while you're playing a video game? Like, bro, grow up. What fucking grade are you in? What grade are you in? What? Like, if you were pleasing your woman, you wouldn't have to worry. You would never have to tell your woman what to do because she would already be doing it. And that's the point. That's my point about when I was in Italy. I just naturally did all the things. And like, we had a very, um, very passionate connection. And there was never any issue. There was never any issue. Anytime I wanted it or something like that, or he wanted something, whatever, it was super copacetic. Super copacetic. And most of the time, we weren't even speaking the same fucking language. We could just feel. We could feel the energy. So it really comes down to, does the man want to be more strong for the clout, or more strong for the woman? Because the woman is the one that tames the beast. The woman is the one that knows. The woman is the one that helps control or maintain the emotional state. So honor the woman. Seriously. Do the work that it takes. You guys want divine unions, you know what I'm saying? Then don't attack the other person. Don't let other people attack you, and don't attack yourself. Don't put yourself in positions where you're betraying yourself. If you're betraying yourself, or if you're agreeing to stuff that isn't true, or you're not speaking your truth, or you're not being authentic, then you're not moving in the right direction. When you're speaking your truth and you're being authentic, you're moving in the right direction. And even though vulnerability and authenticity is not something that we're naturally programmed for, it is the reality. It is the reality of the new KNEW era that we're moving into. We knew that we deserved better. We knew that we didn't have to be slaves and work for it. And this is what the larger, the macro and the micro, the system is keeping. They're trying to keep us in this fear state. So we keep working and we keep producing and we keep paying them and giving them time, whatever, so they can keep their systems running. If we switch, what do I know? I'm just a psychic, intuitive medium, channeler. What do I know? Only the future. But let's not go there. If we switch to a matriarchal society, what it will do is it will strongly create the start repairing the massive imbalance. What we can do for small steps before then is honoring the feminine, whether we are feminine or masculine. Okay. And this also means in different ways. So, for instance, if the masculine, if you have a partner and the masculine doesn't know how to honor the feminine, or what you do or don't have a partner. Imagine if you're a guy and you don't have a partner. You still need to honor the feminine. Now, if you don't have somebody to honor, does it mean go and fucking take all these bitches out? No, not what it means. Okay. What it means is honor the femininity within you. Where do you need to start caring for yourself? Where do you need to do more face or skin or body cleansing or cleansing of your space or me time? You know what I'm saying? If you, as a man or as a woman, right? I had to step myself into this because I've been in such masculine energy and survival state for so long. Um, what do I need? It's like, oh, I need to eat and then I need to rest. I need to bathe and I need to sing and I need to create and then I need to rest. You know, I'm really tired. I'm going to honor my body. I need to rest. And or I need someone to talk to. And men need to be able to do this too. They need to be able to honor their inner feminine by saying, I'm really experiencing something intense right now. Can you hold space for me to be vulnerable, to be emotional? And that's where the matriarchy is going to start to change things for us because it's going to allow men to stop having to be, men are meant to be strong. Okay. But in order for them to be strong, they also have to process. Stuff stays in your body, trauma stays in your body. And if you don't have the space to speak or to process or to be heard or to be seen or to be felt, then that's going to stay stored in the body. And that's what's been happening for fucking eons. So let us all be kind to one another and mostly to ourselves and be patient and loving with ourselves and knowing that the process is being gentle with ourselves, right? Be gentle with yourself. We're all going through fucked up shit. Okay. We're processing. We're in the last temper tantrum. The patriarchy is having its last temper tantrum before shit really shifts out. And as we're in all this fire and all this masculine sign and all of this, we just need to be able to shift out of that. It's like, I don't even want to get into political stuff. I'll get into that another day. But it's like, how much can we keep perpetuating the misogyny, the fact of people are worried about immigrants instead of baby eating pedophiles? That is women also defending and going with the misogyny of patriarchy. And am I saying, blame, 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 you're bad, you're bad, you're bad? No, I'm saying this is what we've been systematically programmed. This is what the patriarchy has been programming in for all of these years. We've been systematically programmed to operate as such. And it's our individual choice. Be the change that you wish to see. Notice where the fuck it's off. Notice and start doing baby steps. Like, for instance, somebody's treating you like, you know what, I'm not going to participate. 0%. Classy block. Not going to do it. And create your boundaries. And when you create your boundaries, uphold them. Okay. Something that I had to learn with my ex was an apology doesn't mean shit. The only way to see that an actual apology is happening is by an actual changed fucking action or behavior. So this goes for yourself or anybody else. If you don't change your own action and your own behavior, then you're perpetuating it. So if you're not honoring yourself and your needs, you know, it's like everybody is seeking everything outside themselves. No, divinity is within thee. Nothing exists outside of self. So if you really want to experience the ultimate love, you have to feel the ultimate love for yourself, as if you're not missing anything, as if nothing is missing from you. I'm whole. I'm complete. I'm not missing my other half. I'm not missing anything. Everything is in divine timing. The only thing I'm missing is the accurate frequency. Or maybe the masculine or the new person, right? Maybe because the fucking false flames, or maybe because the masculine decided to fucking not. Maybe they decided to choose a third party. There is also free will that comes into play. Does it mean that feminine did something wrong? No. It means that there's free will and people can make their own fucking choices, and we don't control that. We're only in control of what we do and how we choose to respond. So now, is my actual divine masculine, like I had a fake flame, I had many soulmates, is my actual divine masculine coming in? Not sure. Not sure what his free will choice was. It's not my fucking problem. I'm on my journey, on my path, doing my things. This person has been monumentally, like catastrophically life changing for me and made me become the best, strongest version of myself, which in my mind, understanding the twin flame union, that is the ultimate, is they turn you in to the most authentic, best version of yourself, which has happened. It's happening. It's happening. No, it's happened. It's a reality. It's the reality that I'm actually living now. It's like, wow, I'm really in my power. I'm really turned into the best version of myself. Even if the whole time I thought it was because the other person needed me to become this for them, it's actually just our vibrational frequency of, and if that's the internal drive that brought me to this point, then that's what it is. But the reason that I initially came to Bali, I mean, there's a few different things, was to meet this person out here. And then I got stuck in Italy. And this person was so jealous, so fucking jealous, because when I got to Italy, I was like, I shouldn't be here. I got to go. And the universe, I had these people come up to me and they were like, I'm the sunset. And they said, you believe in this and do you believe in that? And they were tripping me out. And they're just like, the universe wants that. She was like, my dead father. I don't know if this seems weird, but they told me this whole fucking story. And she was like, this is for you. This is for you. And it was like some weird shit, right? They had tried to get into a contest or into something out there in Italy, and it didn't work out. Her friend didn't end up getting into whatever it was. I don't know if it was cooking or whatever the fuck it was. And it didn't end up working out. And they're like, fuck, we didn't quite figure out this law of attraction, this manifestation. And what actually ended up happening is they said, don't give up on it. Don't give up on it. And um and this is the energy that her dead father was coming through. Don't give up, don't give up, keep that space in your heart. And she's like, oh, but I already whatever, I already didn't qualify. And then what ended up happening is a month before the whole thing was supposed to go down, they contacted the girl and were like, actually something happened to the top runner contestant or whatever it was. Maybe they were running, I can't really remember, it doesn't matter. And we would like to invite you because actually you're the next runner up. And they're like, what the fuck? And so they were telling me this story. And so they told me, this is for you. This is a place for you. And I can honestly say that man, even though he was younger than me, same as Forrest, taught me so much more about honoring the goddess and how women should be treated as queens, how they really should be respected. And that changed everything for me. Going on from that, it changed everything for me. I literally was unable. I attempted to date people, like completely unable. It was like not a thing. Why? Because it was too much. Because I was like, wow, I've already gotten this level of treatment. Like I ain't fucking. But systematically, the system wants to break you down and break you down. And that's what happens is we go back to the same familiar hells instead of a new heaven, because it's something that our body hasn't processed. It hasn't even processed the traumatization process. It's still trying to release the trauma and still trying to understand. And so it's not that it's wrong or that it's scary or that it doesn't feel good. It's that your body has never felt that before. And it would prefer your mind, public enemy number one, it would prefer to keep going back to the same things that it can keep cycling through. So we have to break the cycle. The whole doing the ancestral work where it ends with me is actually a reality. This is an entire thing. And so yeah, we have to make that. We have to make the choice. We have to make the choice with ourselves. And when we find this inner love, this internal love, then we can actually have this exterior love that's showing up in another way. And then the person and the people start to meet us. Hello, Courtney. No, that was the girls. Are you happy in Bali? For me, I love Bali because as a spiritual person, they are consistently communicating with the ancestors and the deities and everything out here, and they love me. They're like, oh wow, the Buddha, very spiritual. Like they trip out on it because sometimes I will channel and speak from the deities and stuff like that, and they're like, but they love it. They love it. That's why. That's why on Saraswati Day they bring me all these fucking fruits because they know. They're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they to them it's strange because to see a Western person so tapped into spirituality and to ancient deities and things like this is very strange for them because everybody that's spiritual out here is doing yoga or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so interesting. It's just so fucking interesting. So, anyways, let's go out with the high priestess and stay in this space of holding this energy very good and very high and very high vibrational. Can you please have a reading? You need to look at the information box below. I do not do personal readings. This is a collective reading. Personal readings, you will have to submit an email and a comment. Um, and try to schedule a session. I only do private sessions. I don't do readings or questions. Maybe I will start to do it. Maybe what I should do is make like a, I notice a lot of people do these, what are they called? Like the super chats or something like that. I don't even know how to do that. What I actually need is somebody that's more tech savvy than me to help me, that is interested in potentially exchanging reads or energetic some type of work or wants some type of beautiful piece of art or something that I create in exchange to help me get all this stuff set up because I feel like I really need um, a separate website and a place for people to be able to sign up and to be able to do that. And then what it will be is for any of the personal readings, there'll be like 5 spaces or something in the month, and then people um, can sign up, can petition and sign up and make their payment and have their date and time scheduled. That would be the optimum. But again, high priestess, I'm the channeler. I'm not the I'm not technologically savvy, and not because I don't want to be, because my energy is so big. Ever since I was small, I've been making lights and electronic devices kind of surge and short out. I make records, fucking skip to whole other songs and all kinds of crazy shit. So yeah, my energy is super sensitive, and that's why I don't do too much with computers and stuff like that. It's just not the technology is. It's like I fry devices. It's crazy. That's why I still have these old devices because the new ones just fucking get destroyed. They're too. Maybe I'm too powerful, or they're too weak, or I don't really know. But um, yeah, I only do energetic sessions, okay, and those start at an hour for a booking, Courtney. But yeah, you can go ahead and leave an email. I do like a certain amount of readings, personal readings per month. But what I will try to do, because everybody keeps asking, is maybe I'll do like a put this in a note. Remind me this later. Remind me this later, Heidi, because I forget my new brain, traumatic brain injury. Um, Yeah, I would like to do that. I think I would like to do that. The guides are saying yes, that's a good thing to do. Um, so maybe what I'll do is I'll try maybe once a month. I'll start with once a month if I feel more energetically aligned towards it. This is what I was doing last year. Um, then I'll do that. But what I'll do is I'll make it like some type of a super chat where people have to pay like $20 for a question or something like this for free cards or something, Um, and then it will be no problem. Then people can just submit their payment and ask their fucking question. And then it will be more copacetic, right? I think that's the way, yeah. I need to set up some type of a third party site or affiliate, something like this. So if anybody out there, if you get, whenever you get this message anywhere in the world, whatever time it is, and you are really good with um, websites or doing little things or doing stuff like that, even if whatever, even if you're good with it, using AI to do that and you want to help me and exchange some type of a reading or a session, that is definitely something, or even maybe some of my beautiful clothing, or something custom, depending what the extent of the work is. I'm totally happy to do some type of amazing energetic exchange, and that would be really beautiful. So, as always, guys, remember, go love yourself first, love yourself first. And as you create that frequency, as you match that frequency, as you say, I am love, I, I feel love, I create love, I love love, I speak love, I envision love, I know what love is and what it feels like. So as we start to more deeply embody the feeling, whether it's coming from another body or just our own personal body, as we start to feel that and we start to embody that, is when we get this divine match or this divine union. And as we do our little parts and as we play our little parts individually as feminine or as masculine for the whole collective, it ripples out. So be part of the change, be the change that you wish to see in the world and also within yourself. So if you are super loving to yourself, it's going to attract. Okay. But yeah, for all of us hermits, we also do have to go outside at some extent. We have to do something. I have to tell myself that. I'm still battling it a bit because after all this other shit, it's so fucking scary. And I just been suffering agoraphobia, which is actually maybe something that I might end up suing all these gang stalkers and these crazy people for. I've learned that. I learned that this week in my Indonesian law studies and my information. Is yeah, similar like the US, you can actually hold people responsible for your quality of life, for your emotional damage, for your emotional states, and yeah, for also lost time, work, wages, for not feeling safe, and all this stuff. Like basically all the ways that they've been making me feel. Yeah. So in the end of the day, like, was all of this stuff worth it? I'm not really sure. Like, I don't think I really needed the more character development. However, the universe maybe needed the character development because maybe this is the way, this is the way that the abundance and the recognition actually comes in is by me sharing the story and by it becoming a global fucking news story, right? This is a big fucking story. And yeah, so maybe it's just right. We have to be patient. We have to realize that we don't see everything the same as divine sees everything. We are divine, and when we tap the divinity within the when we tap that, we can feel more connected. We can feel more assured. It's like people are like, "You just do this." You know, when I drive around here, like, where are you going next? I'm like, I don't know. The gods will tell me, and they're like, "What?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, yeah." The angels will tell me. They'll direct me, and they're like, and the Indonesian people here, the Balinese people especially, I think it's so fucking cool. They're like, that's so fucking like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, like they like um so a lot of other places where people might consider me maybe in a different mind state here, they're like, oh no, 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 we practice white magic, we practice black magic, we understand spell works and mantras and all these other things. And yeah, you're cool. You get it. Okay, okay, white girl, you get it. Or whatever, like, yeah. And so, yeah, the more that we can connect and stop seeking exterior, and this is the real thing. I think that a lot of the divine unions and the twin flame unions have been in this hermit mode. And we've needed to do that because we needed to go for the own introspection to fucking gather ourselves to be like, yes, I am full and complete. I have married masculine and feminine energies within myself. And I'm not afraid of this. And I'm not in fear of that. And I'm not over emotional about this. And I'm not sad or subservient about that. And yeah, I really feel it, you guys. I feel it coming in so hot. And so yeah, if people were false flames, or if they didn't choose to, if divine masculine didn't choose to step up and rise to you your level, um, then the universe it's could be organizing something else for someone else to enter, a different, more potent soulmate. For many of you guys, it may be a soulmate. If the divine flame didn't actually do the work, if they actively chose somebody else, something else, instead of doing the work, then the universe, you can say, if not this, if not them, if not that, then something better. Thank you. So mote it be. And so that's what it is, right? So I'm coming out as a whole new version of myself. And maybe if I would have been with this person that I met 10 or 13 years ago or whatever, maybe I wouldn't have become this person, because we maybe would have been in this state of trying to make the love or the relationship work instead of really finding our true nature, our true expression. And yeah, that's really what it is, right? Um, is that true inner expression, your soul's calling. And when you know that you're doing that, when you're actively working with that, you feel it. And that's why people are pissed, because they're like, how are you fucking happy all the time? Like, what the fuck? And I'm just like, I'm at peace. I have found an inner peace with myself by realizing, not angrily, that all of these people have been narcissists in my life, but that now, because I'm more in tune with myself and not selling myself short of anything, now I can see them. I can spot them. Even when they're being tricky, I can spot them. In a week's time, I'm out. Even if that means I leave my stuff. And listen, this is divine intervention at play. Now, this person doesn't have a fucking pot to piss in. Now, regardless, I come out on fucking top. Now, he will be forced to return my things to me, or him and my belongings will be seized, because he was the last one in possession of them. And if I don't get them returned, then he owes me for all the loss and the stress and the emotional damage and stealing my stuff, because he was the one. So, this is how divine intervention and divine timing kind of works. And we need to be aware of that. Is sometimes what we think is a fucking bump in the road, or we think is a fucked up detour, like, what the fuck? I was almost there. It's not for nothing. It's not for nothing. It's to create the ultimate, to rise into this space. And that's what I'm really feeling. Is like, in the grand scheme of things, that's what I'm really feeling. It's like all these other people, they have something to be worried about. I don't have anything to be worried about anymore. Before, when I dated the other guy, I had to worry. I had to worry about the fucking drugs and all kinds of weird shit in a third world country. Now I don't have to worry about that. That kid has to worry about that. This motherfucker is growing plants in a country where it's punishable by death, and then stealing my shit and holding it hostage there. Like, that's not very good. That's not very good. And I have pictures of it all. So I wouldn't fuck with me. I would say, I want to send you some fucking ice cream and some fucking money on top and your stuff. You'd let me know wherever you want it to go, and it'll be there. Toot sweet. Sorry, I was having a temper tantrum. I was being a little bitch. I didn't realize that, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Please forgive me for my ignorance, for being an ignoramus. Please don't send me to the clink. Now, for some of you guys, there may be somebody that is also going to jail, separate from this, separate from what I'm talking about. Somebody may be going to jail. Somebody may be trying to plead insanity because they realize all the stuff that's coming out about them. And just for the government officials and whoever else is watching, um, they've been doing that. Their ex told them to do that. They've been doing that, and they think that that's the out. And so now what's going to happen is, if they plead insanity, they're not going to get to go to a mental facility or a rehabilitation or a hospital. They're going to go to the mental facility within the prison, within the jail system. So before you guys start pleading mental illnesses, just know you don't get to be free. You don't get to be in a hospital. If you did fucked up shit, you're going to fucking jail. So I suggest you start fucking licking The chickens. I suggest you start figuring out what you can offer the goddess before your life is over. Because the shit is over. It is over. So thank y'all for being here. I'm gonna let this be over as well. And I send you guys all of the love, all of the blessings, all of the light. If you're out here still pushing through on this beautiful love journey, still stay in that heart space and that heart, head, mind coherence, and stay proud of yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Know that we don't figure everything out immediately, that it takes practice to retrain, to rewrite, to reprogram something that's been systematically here since they wrote fucking Jesus, since Constantine rewrote Jesus and the devil into the Bible. That's how long this stuff has been systematically programmed into us. So be gentle with yourself, knowing that it takes a little bit of time to deprogram and to reprogram, um, to rewrite or to reset ourselves. So this great reset, let it be not external, but internal. That way it resets properly externally instead of this other reset these fucking deletes have programmed for us. So stay strong, stay positive, stay loving, stay in a heart space. And if you cannot respond in a non-emotional response or emotional state, remove yourself or don't interact, right? Take a day, take an hour, take a month, see what happens. You never know. I was like waiting for the person to chill out, waiting. I even told the other dude, let me know how we can handle this like adults. I just would like my things back. Like, this isn't that big of a deal. I'm not sure. My bike is broken. Like, I'm not sure why that person didn't leave it where I was going. I'm not sure what the issue is, but it's a tantrum control issue. And as long as masculine or patriarchy or fake masculine, as long as any man is not stepping into his embodied masculine, he's being a bitch. And he's not embodying feminine, he's embodying bitch. And that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Men are supposed to be protectors. And if you're not protecting, then you are demonically possessed. If you're attacking and creating reactionary abuse and things like this, you are demonically possessed. If you're fucking all these different women and you are treating women and everything like this, you are demonically possessed. That is a possession. You are possessed by demons. You have to exorcise the demons. No, but maybe you have to do a fast. Maybe you have to do a parasitic cleanse. Okay? Parasites, demonic, da, 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 da. This is internal and external. Vampires, this is parasitic. Again, it's something that's feeding off your blood system, sucking you of your energy or your blood or your system. So be aware. Either you're part of the solution or you're part of the problem, but you cannot be both. So, as always, I send you infinite blessings, love, and light. If you guys like what I'm doing here, give me a like, comment, share, subscribe, share it to somebody else. And what I'm going to do is, I notice you guys, I'm at 450, and since I had 300 followers, I didn't do the free reading and then the 400. So I'm going to create a I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create a thing so we can do it, and I'm gonna put up 2 free readings, not free. You guys have to do some type of energetic exchange here. I will figure out what that will be. But I'll do that. I'll do a little contest and see, and I will give away 2 readings because for every 100 followers I give a free reading out to my collective, to my subscribers. And that will be like a little contest. So if you are somebody that's interested in that or you need to get a reading, it's something super simple. And so, yeah, thank you guys for all your love and your support and um, your constant conversation, right? Let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep our minds working. Let's work together and let's figure out how to do that better. Okay, guys, as always, infinite blessings, love, and light. All my information is in the information box below. If you have a dollar or $5 or $10 and you like what I'm doing, please submit it to my PayPal. It would really help me to eat this week. And yeah, I super love you and appreciate you. And as always, stay in the space of your heart and be gentle on yourself. Ciao for meow. Zoya.